NFC Championship Game, 49ers lost. What was it, 2017, Jose? That was the final score?
20-17, yep.
Yeah, that's a rough one. This is definitely going to be on the highlight reel of losses that just really sting, that just sit in your memory, that just come to you in a reoccurring nightmare. Could have been worse, though. I've tried to look at the bright side at the end of the tunnel. I've told you before in private that if the Niners lost in the Super Bowl again in my lifetime, I think that'd be it. I think I'd have to retire from watching NFL football games. So that's the one thing I could take away from this game. I'm also trying to look at it and rationalize it this way. There's two ways you could go about it after a loss like that. You could either be petty, and I think YouTube rewards the petty reactions a lot of the time. I'm not here to do that. I'm going to go with the more gracious route. The Rams had a good team, man. We knew that coming into this game, and we beat that team 6 straight times. So if you're Sean McVay, you're the Los Angeles Rams, you're all of that team, you had a chip on your shoulder. You had motivation going into this body bag game, as it was dubbed. So naturally, law of averages, eventually they're going to get the win. I would have preferred, hell, give them a win in the 2020 Nick Mullins year. That would have been fine. I would gladly traded that win in 2020 for the win here today. But that's not how fate works. That's not how things work out. And you can't always get what you want. I will say I got more than I could have ever imagined from this year's Niners team, as I saw them as a potential one and done team in the playoffs. I saw them, maybe they get a win in the playoffs, but they'll probably get knocked down in the divisional round. They're not going to win in Lambeau, right? And they go and win in Lambeau. They win in Dallas. They beat off 2 of our big 90s rivals. It would have been nice to complete the set here, to go in there and beat the Los Angeles Rams. Absolutely. That would have been the perfect ending on this season. Well, not ending, because then we would have obviously been playing in Los Angeles again in 2 weeks, but it would have at least felt like a victory for how much they had to fight adversity to even get to that point. Unfortunately, just came up short. They just came up short, and having to think about it, collect my thoughts. I had to walk outside after this one, man. This was one of those where it's like you just have to walk outside and just breathe in some fresh air, because I don't think I was able to breathe for the last 2 quarters, and rightfully so. Obviously, they showed that I had no right to breathe in that game. I had no right to get comfortable. In fact, I was getting texts like, "Man, it looks like your Niners going to the Super Bowl." I'm like, I'm not texting anyone back. I'm not getting cocky here. And sure enough, I had a right not to be. Jaquaski Tart made that right to be very much more apparent to me. I'm not. Should we put it on some people? Should we call out names here?
No, I don't think calling anybody out really would fix anything at this point. You mentioned it. We're in our mid to late 20s. We've seen a lot of Niner football. We've seen a lot of just gutting losses from Niner football. And the younger version of us would have been like, come on, Kwaski, you got to make that catch. Come on, Jimmy, you can't throw an interception that late. But you mentioned it. This Rams team is just stacked, man. The fact that we were able to sweep them this regular season, I mean, they went out and got OBJ and Von Miller, and OBJ had a hell of a game. I mean, we knew it was going to be tough for us to stop Matthew Stafford if we didn't get pressure on him. I know we got those couple of sacks, but it felt like most of the time Matthew Stafford was pretty comfortable in the pocket, and I think that's what ended up making the difference there. That combined with we just could not get the running game going. We've seen it before. When Kyle Shanahan's offense doesn't have the running game going, it's very easy to stop. And the Rams there in the fourth quarter were able to stop the Niners from extending the lead past 10 points. I'm the same with you. Whenever we were up by 10, we were up 17-7 in the fourth quarter. I was like, why does this feel like 2019 in Miami, Florida? But it just felt like the Niners, we needed one more score. I just needed one more score to really, really believe that, okay, this is it. But for some reason, it always felt like this Rams offense, this Rams defense is going to make some plays. And they did, credit to them, credit to the Rams. They made some plays. They finally got that monkey off their back, beating the Niners. That was just the biggest difference for me, was the Niners run game just wasn't there, whether it be Elijah Mitchell, whether it be whenever they had Deebo Samuel there. Hell, we even tried a 3rd and 2 with Kyle Juszczyk. and we still weren't able to get anything going. And I think that ended up being the difference. They made Jimmy Garoppolo beat them. And hey, for most of the part, Jimmy was great. Jimmy G was great, but kind of a little bit fitting that his potential last throw as a Niner was a interception.
Unfortunately, yeah. And that's part of the Jimmy Garoppolo roller coaster. But we rode that roller coaster and we had some highs, we had some lows, and our highs are higher than some of the other franchises in the NFL. There's Vikings fans out there that never really got to feel that experience.
I'll tell you what, the highs with Jimmy Garoppolo are way higher than when he first got to the team. Real Niner fans remember 2015, 2016, even the early part of 2017, we were completely useless. We were a terrible organization, terrible football team. I would take the highs of Jimmy Garoppolo getting to a Super Bowl, now getting to NFC Championship any day than having to go to that pitiful franchise we were just 5 years ago.
Yeah, when you're coming up from the Blaine Gabbert, Brian Hoyer mess that we had going on, the later years, Colin Kaepernick, Jimmy was a godsend at that point. So Jimmy, in his time in San Francisco, I want people to remember it positively. I don't know if they will, because it didn't end in a chip, but in our lifetime, I think he's arguably the best Niners quarterback that we got to actually see and experience, because we didn't get to experience Steve Young. We got to experience Jimmy. We got to experience Colin Kaepernick. Those guys are about close. Jeff Garcia was a nostalgia binge for me, and that's why I put Jeff Garcia in amongst those three so often. But when you look at the pure comparisons, obviously 2 NFC Championship games for Colin, 2 NFC Championship games for Jimmy, 4 NFC Championship game appearances together, and unfortunately 2 Super Bowl losses. And when we look in the history books, I don't know how we look on it fondly, because there's a lot of old school Niners fans that got to remember the wins here. And our franchise is measured by those wins. Anything less than a Super Bowl is considered a failure. And I think that that's not a terrible logic to have if you're a franchise. If you're a front office, you look at every season as an opportunity to win a Super Bowl. And that's what I credit them for doing this year. Because when everyone was shouting to start Trey Lance, it was them making the argument that this is a great opportunity to develop Lance. So you wanted a development year. You would have been happy if we were 7 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins, something along that range. Maybe we skate into the playoffs. But the franchise put their foot down and they said, we can win a Super Bowl this year. And we came damn close to winning a Super Bowl this year. We came damn close to going to a Super Bowl this year. So in the end, they're justified in their decision-making. Didn't have the exact picturesque ending that would have been written into the storybooks for ages to come. But it was a successful season in more ways than they could have ever imagined, especially when we were on the all-time low of the season. Coming off that bomb Cyclone game, they flashed some of the news stories that were coming out of the Bay Area during that time. I'm pretty sure they showed like 4 or 5 Grant Cohn articles on there. But yeah, no. They showed some of the talk that was surrounding Niners Twitter during that time. And it was of a team that's destined to be in the top 12 of the draft. And look what we finished as. That Trey Lance pick that we were so worried we traded away a first round pick. That Trey Lance pick is now no better than 29, right? It's a victory. It's a victory in that respect. And again, I'm going to be gracious here, and I'm going to say that the Rams have a good team. And anyone that got too cocky going into this game, you had to know the Rams have a good team. There was a reason we were the underdogs. There was a reason we were 3-point underdogs. We were technically 3.5. So actually that probably hurt some bad beats there. Looking at it. Yeah. It played out exactly how you would expect it to play out if you were some of the odds makers going in. Doesn't make it sting less, but it played out exactly how in theory it honestly should have played out. I don't know if that's a victory. I don't know how other people are feeling. Go ahead and let us know in the comments. Like we want to know, we want to lament with you. We want to talk it out. If you're a Rams fan coming through, well, like I said, we took the gracious route here. So just remember, like, you guys have a good team, and we're congratulating you on 100%. Going to the Super Bowl. I don't necessarily expect everyone to feed back that same energy, but just understand where we're coming from on this one. Jose, you got something?
The Rams, the Rams, congratulations to them. They did, what other teams just are scared of doing, right? Just everyone's always worried about, draft capital this, draft capital that. We don't want to trade away too many. They were like, the heck with the first round pick for the next 5-10 years. It doesn't matter. We need Jared Goff out of here. We need to get Matthew Stafford in here. They did that. They felt like they needed a little bit more help with Von Miller. They traded away more picks to get Von Miller. And look at that. It ended up helping. Maybe that's a mindset the Niners should go into a little bit more into the offseason. And also to our Niner faithful, this isn't the end of us. We'll definitely have some content going out throughout the offseason. Just because it's the end of the season for the Niners as a team does not mean we're going to stop. Be on the lookout for more Niner content, whether that be the quarterback situation, whether that be just fun videos, comparing the past to the future, and then just, stuff about the roster, about maybe potential coaching changes. Mike McDaniel is a finalist for the Miami Dolphin job. So be with us here. We're going to have a bunch of more content in the off season. We're just trying to grow. We're trying to get it all as much as Niner faithful as we could possibly fit into this YouTube channel, and be on the lookout for more content, even though the season's over, but still go Niners.
All right, guys. Well, like I said, comment, subscribe. 49 reasons to listen to right here. Juju Talk Sports, Jose Corral. We'll see you next time.